everyone.
When are you gonna make that longer?
Hi, Annie.
Amy!
What?
Hello, hello. John, hello. Welcome in. Us girls have been hanging out behind the scenes missing you. Y'all. You too. You too. You too.
Oh.
Hey, you two is a great band, by the way.
No.
What?
Wait a minute. You choose as what?
She says you two's a great band.
Oh,
Hi,
yeah,
everyone.
it is. I agree.
And I heard a no, so I'm not whatever.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Hey,
Looks like Adele is in lurking. And we've got Jeanette.
always.
Yeah.
Hello,
Also,
Jeanette. Jeanette, are you feeling better today? Did you fall again? What's going on? Give us an update. We need to know. Hey, Herb, how you doing? What have you been
I
up to?
heard.
Hi, Herb, Adele,
Why? Why?
Larry's out there
Jeanette,
too.
Why?
and everybody that's on Jess's side. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, guys. Woo!
Don't forget the thumbs up, guys, on both sides.
Oh,
Already
Johnson's over
did.
there.
That's
If
just
Johnson's still there.
Oh, I got some information for Thursday night.
Okay.
listening.
Well, I'm going live, but it's actually Anna. Anna from, oh gosh, I forgot her name, her thing. But she asked me to be on her live, but then she wanted me to do it on my channel. So
Ooh,
we are doing wood rounds.
how fun.
So she's going to be the host, even though it's on my channel.
Is that
Okay.
Indiana Jones?
No, this is
Different
Anna.
one?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on Indiana. In fact, first time I ever went live was on Indiana Jones channel. It is, I don't know why I'm losing her name.
Hi, Chris.
We all do it.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Hi,
And,
Mateo.
and Herb says he's sick.
Oh, mm,
Not good, Herb.
That's not good. It's the Grace Life Home Decor, and it's Anna, Ana, Anna.
okay.
And
I
so we're
think
doing
I
wood
actually follow that
rounds,
channel.
and I'll ask her if she's okay with having other people on the panel as well,
Channel.
because
Okay.
she asked me to be a part of it. But
Chris.
I'm creating this wood round, or I'm painting it. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to decorate it. I don't want to do for Halloween because it's too close.
Well, I know you're gonna paint it.
Yes, I know you don't like wood painted, but I might not. I might stain it. You never know.
Ooh.
I know I'm going to do a wood round, and I could stain it into different. If I make some different stencils, I could stain it in different colors.
Are you gonna sing in a round while you're making wood rounds?
Do you want me to?
That'd be the coolest video. Sing in a round while you're making wood rounds. But you gotta let Ann in on it though, so she carries on in the round.
Oh my gosh, I don't. I think that's more than what I want to do.
I don't know. Whatever was said, it hurt my brain, so I don't know what's about to happen. So, yes.
But I may or may not put a bow on it, or I may or may not turn it into like a tray. We'll see. But I am planning on getting it all ready tomorrow, all the stencils. But it's a good idea. I could stain it. Well, I do washes, like paint, like there's like stain, but it's a wash that dries quicker. And I can
You
do
gonna wash
all.
with Are you gonna wash with gouache?
I could.
Oh, John.
The only problem is I have to make sure I seal it.
Annie?
Gouache, once it becomes paint again if you get it wet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can do gouache because that's more of a gel that would be more looking like a stain. than actual. Yeah, I could do gouache. I haven't done any gouache in a long time. I need to do more. That's a good idea. Thank you, John. I will get my stencils ready because they dry fast, so I can take one off, put another one down. So, thank you. All right, back to the show.
Nice.
Back to regularly scheduled programming.
Huh?
I said back to regularly scheduled programming.
Exactly.
Yes. And
Looks
hi,
like
Larry,
everybody's
Chris,
just,
Mateo, and Russ.
looks like everybody's just saying hello to everybody in chat.
You know, this drives me crazy. Why can't I figure out why every time I type anything, it comes up twice? I'm not even on
3
YouTube.
times that time. 4 times.
Um,
No. Oh, no. Twice
No,
misspelled and twice spelled correctly. Gotcha.
but I don't understand. I'm not even on YouTube.
My
Who
brain
knows?
is not draining tonight.
No, my internet is just make me mad tonight.
Gosh.
Guys, what's everybody working on?
My
Well,
blanket.
Your blanket. Well, we got to see your
be
blanket.
right back.
You got to
I
show
got a phone call.
I'm working
show
on
us your
this.
blanket, Ann. Jojo.
Uh,
Wait, one at a time. Hold on a sec. What are you doing to me?
wait.
Hold on a sec.
Working.
What do you want to
Who's
see?
going first? Go, Joe.
Okay, Joe first. There's Joe's blanket.
Ooh,
See,
pretty.
Mm,
That's gorgeous. What stitch is that?
Suzette.
I love the
It is
Suzette.
a very pretty stitch.
Yeah, that's what that's so far. It's getting there.
Cool.
Slowly but surely.
What size is it going to end up being?
Um, my arm length and then my height.
Oh, cool.
So if it fits me, it fits
6x6.
pretty much. If it fits me, it fits pretty much everyone.
Cool.
So, full size.
Because I'm tall and wide. So there you go. Fits me, it fits everyone.
Oh my God, Joe. Tall
Well,
and
it's
wide.
true. True.
Well, especially if you're going to your arm length, that's as
Yeah.
tall as you are too. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I make a blanket for somebody specific, I'll adjust sizes. But this is just for whoever.
that would be like for a double sized bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. I mean, I'm 6 foot, so I figure that fits pretty much the average people.
Mm-hmm.
But if I know if I'm making it for like if I was making this for like my son, I have to make it much bigger.
Right.
Like wise because he's I don't know 6'3", something like that. And it just depends. And, if I was making it for Jessica, it would have been done by now. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have needed to make it so wide. But yeah, I mean, when it's done, you could use it either this way or this way because it'll be the same.
Right. It's a
So
beautiful color. What color is it? Is it like a navy
um,
blue?
this is the just yarn or just or just, and I think it's denim.
Okay, denim. It's like a dark denim.
Yeah, just denim. And I've used one. This is my second one of the 1 pounders that I've gone into, And I have 2 more, so we'll see how size I'll make it. Who knows?
Yeah.
I may make it
Cool.
for a little bit taller person, but yeah,
Cool.
that's what I've been working on.
Now, what do you got on the go, Annie? I seen a hat
I
there.
have this hat. Wait a minute. I don't want to drop my needles. And yes, John, this is knitted, not crocheted.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. It's still yarn work. It's
And
fiber work.
this
That's right.
one, which is the style that Connie makes them in,
Mm-hmm.
this is how
Mm.
far I've got on it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to join it, and then I'm going to pick up stitches for the band and knit it rather
So
than crochet it.
wait a minute. Let me see that. Does your stitches go long ways or up and down?
Long ways. I
See,
want to do long ways.
oh, okay, because mine goes up and down.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
I'm going to make one like that eventually. I wanted to do it this way because I want to
That's
see how
pretty.
it hugs your head.
That's pretty. Is that a double stitch?
It's half doubles with a couple of doubles rows just thrown in there just to change the texture up.
Oh, cool. And what's the brim going to be?
I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a 2x1 ribbing.
Just make it that body part, make it longer than you think you need it to be.
Oh yeah,
I found that out making that style.
because I was doing some measuring last night, and I think I need at least another 2.5 inches.
Yeah, the ones that are not long enough, I can't fold up the brim.
Well, the
So-
brim, I'm going to make the brim 2.5 inches anyway.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it was way up too high, so I had to put more on it.
Yeah.
So, because I keep measuring my head all the way from back here, all the way down to like here, to get it the right length as I pull all my hair across my face.
The dog. Go that
Cool.
way. You're getting way too deep into the room. Why are you over there?
What project you got on the go, Connie?
What?
What
What are you
project you
working
got
on?
on the go?
Oh, the raccoon. Got this is the body part I showed you guys, the head and the body, and then I got only one more leg to go, and the tail, and that's it. I haven't touched any crocheting at all today. I've been too busy doing other stuff. So
Other stuff.
yeah, like cleaning my craft room, making ice cream.
Making ice
I
cream.
did a painting of something somebody's gonna recognize.
Uh-huh. Oh, you did that today?
No, I did something else. That
Oh,
one's
okay.
that one's for Sunday. This is off of another painting I was from a picture I was given.
I absolutely fell in love with that picture
It's pretty. I can't wait to do it.
because that is, yeah, that's what you don't, but we don't get them like that every evening. It's
Right.
just you catch it right and you get a really colorful one like that.
Yeah, the one I did for tomorrow was off of another painting that from a picture I was given. So I already had it in my schedule to do. So now I just got to design what I'm going to do for the wood round.
Larry said he made another pen. He's able to keep some of what they call the bark of the antler.
Cool.
So I don't know what that means, but that's okay. I don't need to.
Antlers, they shed every year. I think that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
John, what you working on tonight?
I'm still working on my shawl.
It's
I'm still
turning
working on
out.
my shawl.
And,
It's
and what are
turning out.
what are you gonna do with it when you're done? I mean, who's it
I don't
going
know.
to?
I'm gonna block it. I don't know. Just hang it up behind me here.
You don't have anyone in mind for it. You're just making it.
Like maybe your wife.
Maybe I'll keep it for myself.
Oh, you could.
That'd Be
Yeah.
fine.
You could, or you can even put it across your lap if you get cold in there. You know, whatever.
Yeah, well, if my furnace don't get fixed, I'll be needing a freaking. I'll have to do my lap can right away.
There's no judgments here. It can be pink. We don't care.
Did your heat is out?
No, my heat still kicks in once in a while, but it doesn't kick in as often as it should.
What's wrong with it?
Thermostat.
Flame sensor.
Oh, so you have to put a new one in.
Yeah. Oh, I had one put in last year.
Go with a different company.
I
Larry
can't.
says,
They're the only ones that supply the parts for it,
Oh, that sucks.
and it's under warranty, so it's not a big deal, right? But I just gotta schedule it.
Well, even
Yeah.
being under warranty, that's annoying if you have to do it every single year, and you shouldn't have to.
Well, yeah.
I
Well,
saw
so it wasn't the flame sensor last year. Last year it was the um I think it was like the gas igniter or something or other. Like it's right behind the flame sensor that
Hmm.
knows if it's on or off, right? So it like last year it didn't know if it was on or off all the time, so it kept kicking out. And this year I think it's the flame sensor.
Hmm.
But because of who we bought it through, they're the only ones that can actually repair it. Because I've talked to other guys and they're like,
or avoids the warranty.
I've talked to other HVAC guys and they're like, nope, LSN's the only guys that could stock those parts. So it's basically they got a monopoly on these furnaces. So,
Oh, geez.
That's never a good scenario.
but it
No.
is what it is, right? So it's not a big deal. But I don't know. I downloaded all these patterns. I printed all these patterns off, and I want to do something else.
Nope.
But I got all this yard. I got
Yeah,
all this
but you
yard.
Working on it.
All I can.
But I
This is what I can tell you, John, because I go through this a lot. Because I make a lot of big stuff. A lot is I start to get tired of it, so I set it aside. I tell myself I'm going to only set it aside for 2 days or 3 days, and then I work on something else. So I'm ready to get back to it when I'm done with that small project.
Which
Like
is why I generally have a hat going and with a larger project.
Right,
Yeah,
like
So
a
you get that
hat,
break.
gloves, something small.
see because
washcloth. I make
everybody knows John hates repetition, but the thing is, I like doing the crochet, even though it's repetition. I enjoy doing it here,
Right.
but if it was like scroll saw work, no, I can't do that. It's not the same.
Yeah, I remember when I used to do a lot of scroll work when I was selling all the stuff at craft shows. Oh my gosh, I got so tired of doing it. I had to
Yeah.
take a break and do something else.
You could do like a different hat pattern every time. It doesn't have to be the same pattern. There's thousands of hat patterns for free.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Or-
I know.
Just make a different kind.
I know. I don't know how many do we downloaded. It's like well, the other day Joe was like, "Well, I'm gonna make a hairband, right?" So she did a
Mhm.
freaking hairband. I'm like, "Fuck, Joe! It's like you could, if you were to sell them, you could do 5 an hour. Sell them at $10 a piece. There's $50 an hour."
Oh, I was going to say
the hair tie thing.
Um,
Yeah.
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 on my website, I got all my hats and scarves on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It's like I don't really want to work on a blanket yet. It's like I want to work on a hair tie. It's great. It's like yeah.
Exactly.
I just
Yeah.
cleaned it and made it, and I was like, it's done. He's like, what?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure it took you like 12 minutes, right, to do that one.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Hey,
15.
Hey,
15.
Chris.
I'm guessing 15 minutes tops. Larry says I'm the same with scroll saw work, John.
I
Yeah,
don't
Larry.
think I've ever
Larry
made
gets
two
sidetracked
hats
with
at the
everything
same
now.
time before.
Hey, Chris.
Because that would get boring.
Yeah, I
But
do
also,
little
I can
projects
always hit
like
with
that.
I might go in and watch a video and see how many they chain or cast on if it's knitted, and look at what they're doing, and then put my own spin on it just to make it different.
I will
Yeah.
say that I learned how to knit first, and before I learned how to crochet. But knitting, it gets monotonous.
To me, knitting is way faster a hat when it comes to hats. Knitting is way faster than crocheting for me. I can knit. Well, this particular hat is on a size 1, so it's taken me longer than because I usually use like a 3, 4 and up. So
Right.
this is taken me a little longer. But I also had set it aside to work on other things, so it took me longer.
Yeah, but see, I've never made anything. I've never made hats with knitting. I've only made uh, tube tops when I was a teenager for myself. I made, yeah, I made blankets. I've made sweaters. I've made vests. I've made all kinds of things. I've never done hats with knitting. But crocheting, I can whip those up in nothing flat.
Knitted hats, if you know how to knit and purl, so you can make the band,
Oh, I do.
and you work the band, and then it's just all knitting, just straight knitting. Or like what I'm doing with this one is I started out with Spring's drumline hat. I lost myself in a pattern. I couldn't remember where I was in the pattern.
Hmm.
So I just started doing my own thing to finish it off because I wasn't going to pull it all out.
Well, I do have knitting machines, and I'll make hats with those, and they're easy. I can get a full double thickness hat in less than a half hour.
Yeah, and I have that. I have one. Actually, have 2.
I have 3 different sizes.
I got an itty bitty one, and then I have like the one for adult hats.
I have
Itty bitty one I use for sleeves, like for long gloves or mittens, and socks for little kids.
I did that, and I also made I made 60 no yes no 80 preemie hats to give to the hospitals to use for babies that are born premature and that die.
Yeah.
I made them in pink, white, and then white, blue, and green. And I check on, see how soon they need more. Then I'll make more because I can literally do those hats in about 6 minutes on the knitting machine.
Chris, Ann, do you have plenty of ventilation? Playing with shellac.
Yeah, he's got lots of ventilation there.
Oh, that's
Lots of
good.
UVs. I
Cool.
do like to look at shellac, but it is hard to work with
Mm-hmm.
and get to look right. I only know that because I've redone furniture or repurposed a lot of it, and we'll put a shellac finish on it.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey,
How you
Tracy.
doing? Haven't talked to you for a bit.
So it's no vents, but denatured.
Denatured.
Okay, I can't say that word. Alcohol is the solitary. Not bad. That's good. For me, I hate polyurethane. I love it and I hate it
Yes. There's a love-hate relationship with it.
because it always yellows, no matter what. And I hate that when it does that to my wood.
I hate the sanding in between layers to make it look nice.
Well,
Glad to hear it, Tracy. Are you working on anything tonight? People in the chat? We need to know. We're nosy.
That is the one I usually use, Chris. I didn't know about the yellowing, but because that was when I first started redoing furniture.
I was going to say, Chris, I do use that like for stuff. Well, okay, so my table, my dining room table I made, I used regular polyurethane, and luckily the top is dark brown, so you can't see the yellowing. but I decided to use the water base on the benches. But outside on my railing, the wood across it was horrible when I got here. So I took it all off and made a new one. And when I painted it, I had to use regular polyurethane, and now it's all yellowed because it's white, and now it's all yellowed.
Tracy is working on blankets for Christmas. The girls wanted a blanket this year.
Awesome.
Is that two blankets you have to do? I can't remember. Um, Chris is oil based with yellow, water based. Well, and Larry said I was
Watching.
watching Mike that made pens. Plus, oh, it moved. Plus, and he uses walnut oil too. Yes, two blankets. Okay.
Well, that's cool, Larry. Yeah, Chris, I know the water base doesn't yellow, but you can't use water base for stuff outside
Yeah.
because it doesn't hold up like the oil base.
Found that out
And
the way.
and the oil base, you have to pretty much use something you're never going to use again because you can use mineral spirits to try and clean it, but it never gets it all out.
You'll have to show me pictures of what you're making later, Tracy.
That would be nice in the chat to see it or in the group.
Yeah.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you what I'd like to try that I've never had a chance to work
Yeah.
with is I would like to try lacquer just because it looks so cool. But I also know it's extremely time consuming to apply lacquer.
Yeah, and
I
just put it
would
in.
like to try it at least once, just to see how it turns out.
Put it in a group chat when you can, Tracy. We all like to see because we're nosy. We like to know things, see
Mhm.
things.
And John's sitting there in his head going, why don't they ever talk about this wood stuff during my wood show?
Exactly.
I don't talk wood stuff because I don't know nothing about it. I just sit and crochet and nod my head like I know what's going on.
It's about it.
I'm getting ready to make some stuff out of wood in the next couple of weeks. Well, maybe one thing before I leave for Utah, but when I get back, I'll be doing stuff because it'll be cool outside, so I can work in the garage.
I'm getting ready to actually make some.
Whoever is yawning, stop it right now. That is uncalled for.
I don't know who it was. I'm not saying. I got some little wood rounds that we cut from a branch that I've been aging, and I think they're dry enough now I can work with them.
Chris says lacquer is the easiest and fastest finish out there. Dries in minutes and no sanding between coats.
I thought it took a long time to do lacquer.
I might have to buy some lacquer.
Yeah. I mean, I've done spray lacquer, but that's basically just spray paint.
Oh, I use that. I've done that for years. Even when I was doing my stuff for art, craft shows, I used spray lacquer.
But I always thought lacquer took a long time.
Nope.
You had to do so many coats on it.
Hello, Mary. Welcome in.
Hi, Mary.
Hey, Mary. Oh, Tracy sent something. Hold on, be right back. Go on my tablet. Go on my tablet and look.
Chris is back to making Christmas dish rags. Awesome.
That's great.
I was binging a show the other night this was during bingo on Friday. And I was just like, I think it was after you left, I started it. And I was just like,
No.
I couldn't remember if it was lengthwise or widthwise that your stripe, the grain went.
Right.
I didn't know if it went this way or this way, and I was like, I'm going to go this way. Next time I'll make it the other way.
Yeah.
I love that, Tracy. I love that. I need the pattern for that, please.
Did you put it? Did you send it to you or in the
No,
group?
it's in
Group chat.
It's a group.
Oh, yep, I see it. Let's see.
Granny stitch.
Oh, I love those colors.
That's
Yeah.
pretty.
Is that
I need
cotton?
the pattern, please.
Is that cotton, Tracy?
It kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And she says she's working on the puff stitch blanket still too.
So it looks like it's 3 doubles crochets in the granny square.
Is that what it is? I don't know granny stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, this is granny square. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Is it
That's a
from?
granny. It's a granny square, so she just keep going around and around it.
Yeah. Now she can always make like 4 big ones or make and hook them together to make them more of a rectangle. It's up to her. But I've made them before. It's acrylic. It's beautiful. It looks like cotton. What's the brand? Oh, from Hobby Lobby.
It's Luck Lolly. Luck Lolly cake.
No, it's really pretty though.
It's really pretty. I love them.
Now, does that kind of blanket take a long time to do?
No, they're super easy.
Yeah, because you can zoom
Maybe
on
easy,
them.
but I'm like, does it work up fast?
Yes, granny
Yes.
squares are really fast to make up.
I think the corners would mess me up.
They're super easy. You just do 3, then you chain 3. You do 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 double crochets in the corner,
Yep.
and then that's it.
Then just follow your
Okay.
stitches.
Oh, they don't make it anymore. They make.
Lux Lolly. Okay, I was gonna.
She said they don't make it anymore.
Of course.
Of course, yeah, that's the way it works.
Okay, she's just making one big square one this time, which works.
Okay. I'll have to try that sometime. Maybe that would work with that cloud cake, that the stitches just don't show up that well.
That's really pretty. I used to, before I even really knew that that was a granny square stitch, I used to make blankets for my kids, their dolls and stuff, using that stitch. And it was super
I
fast.
always thought, I always thought that the granny stitch was kind of holy, but that blanket's not holy.
It
Doesn't
depends
have.
on the size of the needle you're using,
Yep.
the hook, and
Yep.
they also have a solid granny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's one I would want. I'd want a solid one. And it would work with cloud cakes. I love those. Yeah, because I'm finding that the cloud cakes, I've tried different stitches and it just doesn't show up.
Well,
'Cause it's like,
she's using that
so
an H stitch.
H, what's that, a 4? H,
Maybe
4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
Four and a half.
that would be small.
That's
So that's why
small.
it's so high.
I like using 6, 7, and 8.
Hey Annie, did your blanket did you finish your blanket with the yarn I sent you?
No, it's right there at my feet. When I work on this for a while, then I'll go work on that for a while and then swap back and forth.
Oh, awesome.
Tracy says it's a 5 millimeter. Okay, I could do 5. Yeah, if I had to, but yeah.
I
It all
wonder.
depends on your yarn too, what size you're using, and
I'm trying to
okay.
decide, Connie, if I want to make the border of that like a really bright green and give it a pop, or black.
I would, if I was gonna choose, I would go black.
I was thinking the black would make the yarn pop out.
I agree.
Yeah, because the blanket I'm working on now, I'm using a 6, and it's a prim. But I noticed if 'cause sometimes I just like to switch up hooks, size, not sizes so
What?
much.
I was gonna
But
say,
I noticed the Clover 7 is the same size of a prim 6.
see this
You read
crochet
that?
hook. This crochet hook that I'm using for this raccoon is 3.5.
Oh, that's too damn small.
Well, it's amigurumi. You have to make You have to
Yeah, I
be.
know, but you know me. I
know.
like big hooks.
I know. I do too, but for amigurumi, you got to go small.
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't do amigurumi that much.
Tracy, it looks really super soft. Is everybody? Oh, there. Okay, I'm like, is everyone gone? No.
It's a 4 yarn. Okay.
John keeps freezing. That's the problem.
Or he's resting his hands on too.
Yeah, but it jumps when he comes back, so I think it's freezing.
Yeah, could be. I don't even know what my other hook is that I was using. Oh yeah, it's 7. Yeah, but the 7 clover is the same as a prim 6. So sometimes I switch them back and forth. It just depends.
That's too.
They always discontinue the crap that we like. What the
Oh,
hell's up with that?
we lost John. He'll be back
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah. If
I
not, we'll just sit here and talk. Whatever.
Yeah, I hate when they do that, when they discontinue
Yeah.
yarn that you just absolutely love.
Like that comfy cotton, I love it, but you can't get it anymore.
That
You know,
yarn,
and when you can find someone that has it, they want to charge you.
A fortune for it.
Well, not that, but when I got mine on not eBay, Amazon last time, I spent like $3.50 a piece on them. And you find people that want $6, $7, $8, then shipping on top of that,
welcome
and
back, John.
it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Welcome back, John.
By the time you pay all the shipping, that's what it's. But I guess it depends on how bad I want it. It's like,
Well, just like that yarn that I sent to Annie, you can't get that anymore.
No, and this is fantastic yarn.
what
Yeah,
did she send you?
It
that
is
white and red.
this one.
Oh, okay. I remember you showing me that.
It is
Yeah.
so soft. And it just they don't make it
It
anymore.
has really nice stitch definition. Where it's thick and thin, you wouldn't think that it would, but it has really, really nice stiff. I love it, and it's squishy. It doesn't.
Hmm.
It looks soft, but it doesn't look like it's squishy. But when you work it up and you get some thickness to it, it's really squishy,
Hmm.
which is why me.
I'm just glad you like it. And it looks like from my
It's yarn. What's not to like about yarn?
I know. Well, I don't like
Exactly right.
wool. I don't like wool. Ouch.
I have some yarns I do not like.
Yeah.
I mean, they hurt my hands, so I don't use
You
them.
know my address. I'm
Well,
just saying.
I know. No, you're fine.
one that I don't like using, I'm gonna have to use, and I can't send it to you because
I was
she
gonna
likes
say
green.
Herb got his painting. He said it was delivered today, so I'm hoping it was. Larry said his was delivered today, and Liz, it said hers got delivered today as well. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah,
Tracy says she'll give you her address too. LOL. Everybody's giving everybody's address out. Send yarn, everyone.
It's mostly, I mean, it's a red heart yarn, and while I like red heart, green eats my hands up. It has something
Uh,
to do with the way the dye makes the yarn feel. It's just like
yeah.
sandpaper going over my fingers. I hate using.
it is kind of rough.
The only yarn I found I can't use is just like the mohair. I just can't use mohair. I've used alpaca and other stuff, and I don't have any issues.
Well, everybody that I've talked to said it has to be a dye issue because none of the rest of the yarns bother me.
Yeah. Well, I just can't do anything that's from animals except for silk doesn't bother me.
Uh,
That's
Well,
Tracy
not
changed.
that's not an animal, that's an
Tracy,
insect.
that's true.
Tracy changed her mind. She doesn't want it. It is rough.
Yeah, so I can't do llama, I can't do wool, sheep's wool, I can't do mohair, I can't do anything like this is not I don't even think they make yarn, but I can't do anything like with minks or rabbits or any of that.
Oh yeah, some Angora yarn is made from rabbit fur.
Yeah, can't do it. No way.
I got a friend here who raises Angora rabbits just to make yarn from their fur.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, when I was a child, my dad worked at a chicken place, a hatching place, and we went and I was only there 10 minutes and he had to turn around and take me back home because I had a really bad allergic reaction. Then a few years later, he was working at a mink farm and he took us there. He, oh my gosh, I just about died. And then it's like, oh, well, then you can go play with the rabbits. Oh, no, I can't. That's worse.
Wow.
So, but we used to have chickens when I was a teenager. But as long as I wasn't touching them or there wasn't a ton of them. Because when I went to that hatchery, there was thousands.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of animals bother you. The dogs don't bother you.
No, but cat's dander does.
Now,
Does
see, my
does-
brother was allergic to cats, but he wasn't allergic to dogs.
Yeah, I'm
Dogs
not
didn't
allergic. Yeah, the dogs don't bother me. Horses don't bother me. Goats don't bother me. Sheep do. Um, ducks don't bother me. Chickens do. We used to have birds. Love birds like finches. I can't have them. I'm allergic to them.
Good night, Larry. Larry's going to bed.
Good night, Larry.
Night, Larry.
But so I can't have. We used to have parakeets, and I can have a parakeet, and parakeets, and we used to have doves. We used to raise doves and sell their babies, and but finches. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going to die having them in my house. I never know what's going to get me till it gets me.
Yeah, that'd be bad. I don't have any allergy like the outdoor. I don't have like allergies to pollen or flowers or grass or any of that.
Oh, I
The
do.
only thing outdoors I know that I'm allergic to is bees.
I'm not allergic to bees, but I'm allergic
That's
to
the only.
Weirdly enough, I'm allergic to so many things, but I'm not allergic to bees.
Yeah, I
I've
am
never
allergic
had a
to
reaction.
I don't know if this is a reaction or not. One time there was some bees on some little flowers on the grass, and I walked across the grass, and I guess I kicked a bee, and it went right into my toe. My whole leg swelled up.
Yeah, that's a reaction.
Yeah, but I've never gotten like really bad where I had to
If
use
you're
it.
not allergic to bees, it'll just be a very small localized welt.
Yeah, I'm
like
allergic.
like a mosquito bite.
I'm allergic to mosquito bites. My mosquito bites get to be about this big around and about that high off my skin, and they're bright red. Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah, Michaela, my niece, is allergic to mosquitoes.
We would sleep outside when I was a kid, and I'd get mosquito bites on my eyes, and they'd swell up, and I couldn't open my eyes.
Oh wow.
That's the way I
But
do when I get around roses.
oh, I love roses, but I
I
do
worked
not.
I worked at Kroger's, and of course, Mother's Day
Oh
and
yeah,
Valentine's Day, you got roses. And I would have to put a sign up on my register, do not bring roses through here. And the manager come up and he goes, you can't do that. And I was like, I can either do that or you can pay for my hospital bill when I have to go to the ER. And he said,
Mhm.
what? I said, because I'm allergic to roses. Well, why are you working in the store? I said, because we sell food and I'm not allergic to that. Uh, and the people didn't have my, I tell a customer, it's like, I'm allergic to roses. Say, okay, I'll go to another register, not a problem. He's the only one that made a big deal out of it. Nobody else made a big deal out of it. So he was like, no, you are going to run, and I ran like 2 different orders of roses. And one of my friends was getting off work, and I said, can you give me a ride to the hospital? And she said, why? I said, because I have to go get a shot. And she said, why? And I turned around and she said, my eyes were just like all welted up. And she said, I was like trying to see her and I couldn't see. And so she went and told the supervisor that she was taking me to the ER. And the manager come down and goes, oh, you really are allergic.
Oh my
No,
god.
dude, I'm lying to you.
I'm allergic to some flowers, but not as many as I am to all kinds of grasses, corn, the chaff that comes off, and the greenery part. If it touches me, I welt up.
Now, see, I'm
Yeah.
like that, but only with the silk. If the silk touches my skin, it looked like somebody like slapped me with a wire or something. The welt it'll raise up.
Yeah, the silk doesn't bother me. It's the chaff and the greenery. If it touches me, and I'm definitely allergic to Milo. Oh my god! And they're getting ready to harvest it this week and next week. And it's all over, and I just welt up.
Allergies suck.
You know, when I was born, I had allergies. My mother took me to the doctor, and they said, babies aren't born with allergies. And she's like, then what the heck is this? You know, well, they didn't believe her and didn't believe her. And by the time I was 3 years old, I had had over 30 cases of pneumonia from the drainage down the back of my throat into my lungs. And so they was getting ready to, they did the scratch testing, 6 rounds of it. And then my mom's like, is she done or does she need to come back? And they said, we're just going to say she's allergic to everything that she comes in contact with,
That's
because
basically what they told my parents when I
they're
was
like,
little.
everything we tested her for, she's allergic to. So we're just going to desensitize her to everything. So they did for 4.5 years until I was 9.5. I got a shot every week, and by the time I was 12, they were all back plus more. So
I've grown out of some of my allergies. I
I'm
used to
getting,
be allergic to the corn cob. It's like I could eat corn as long as it was cut off the cob. If I ate corn on the cob, I would break out in a rash.
see, I'm lucky I don't have a lot of food things that I'm allergic to. I'm allergic to soy sauce. Oh my gosh. I start sneezing and oh, it's horrible. But most other food I am okay with. Mine is more environmental around me.
I think now I don't have any food allergies anymore. I exposed myself to them as an adult. I just kept gradually exposing myself to them, and I built up a tolerance. Now my environmental allergies, I don't guess are ever going to go away. I think they like me too much.
I mean, if they go away, it's just a matter
It's
of
like,
things
no,
going away.
we're
There's nothing you
home.
can do.
Yeah.
Now, did you know that they are okay? So back, how many years ago has it been? 20 years is when they or more. All these kids started showing up with all these peanut allergies and all
Oh
these
no,
nut
it's been longer.
allergies.
It's been like 30 years.
Okay, 30 years. Well, they finally figured out um, that it's because doctors were telling parents, don't give your baby any food till they're 6 months old. Don't
Yeah.
give them any peanuts till they're a year old. Don't do this. Don't do that. Now they're saying feed them small amounts when they're young. They won't have the allergies.
Yeah, so they grow up and grow an immunity to it.
Exactly.
I fed my kids. I was by 6 weeks old. My kids were eating table food. Now,
Mine,
granted, it was mashed up, it was
yeah,
soupy, and it was off the tip
exactly.
of my finger. But
That's the
they were
same
eating
way.
it. Yeah.
So was
That's the
mine.
way I was raised. It didn't kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
think all
start
of us kids,
snacking that young.
Mom said our very first like solid food was egg yolk. She
Yeah.
would like break the yolk of an egg and dip her finger in it and feed us the yolk. She said she did all of us like that.
Yeah. It's it's just not fun when you food allergies are horrible. I feel so sorry for little kids that but now a lot of those kids that are allergic to peanuts, they're giving them small minute amounts and then building up to try and get rid of those attacks. See
Yeah,
my
because everybody was talking about that, and I'm like, why? I was like, why are there so many peanut? I said, because when I was a kid, peanut butter sandwich was on lunch menu.
exactly.
Peanut
You
butter
know,
sandwiches, peanut butter cookies,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then
peanut butter
suddenly, you
crackers.
can't send any kind of peanut butter to school because of so many allergies. And I thought it was maybe one kid in the school, which I understand that peanut allergies can be severely dangerous for some individuals.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to go across the board. And I was like, I said the same thing. I said, if you don't expose kids to stuff, they can't build up an immune. It's like exposing them to germs, letting
It's
them
the
get
same.
dirty.
Yes. Do
It's
you
the same.
remember? Do you remember about 25 years ago, maybe close to 30, everyone saying, "Oh, keep your baby super, super clean. Keep them wiped. Keep them covered. Keep them this. Keep them." I'm like,
Nope.
what? No.
Yeah, they tried that on me, but my kids' pediatrician told me they're going to eat a peck of dirt before they die. He
Not
said
only,
it's just the way of a kid. He
not only
said,
that, they should get sick at least 8 times in their first year. They need to have a cold. They need to build their immune system.
he just said, dirty kids make healthy kids. He said that was his opinion.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm good with that. I said, because my kids definitely get dirty. Because they're like, oh, you shouldn't give your kid a bath every day. I was like, if they're out rolling in the mud and playing in the creek, they're going to get a bath before they go to bed.
The
Right.
creek is
No,
water, though.
It's also dirt.
No.
well,
Animals clean in the creek. It's fine.
I don't mind when they're babies to only give them a bath every couple of days.
Well, that's different. They're not getting that dirty.
Right. But when they're older and they're going out, especially when it's summertime, and they're coming out, the bottom of their feet are black, and
Yeah,
they're under their noses are black, and they're getting in the tub.
they've rubbed dirt in their hair.
Oh yeah.
And Andrew used to tickle me. Time he was like 2, he would just like follow Bill out to the garden in the summertime, and he would have his trucks. He'd be down playing beside the garden while Bill was pulling weeds or whatever, and he'd just get up and he'd pull him a turnip and he'd wipe it off on his pants and he'd sit down. He'd take a big old bite, go back to playing with his truck. He was like, "Oh my God, he's eating dirt." I was just like, "It's good enough for the food. It's good enough for him." I said, "He's fine."
You know what? I would go out and pick tomatoes or whatever, and just wipe them off on my pants. Just eat them. I
That's
could.
what we always did as kids.
Yeah.
It's like where we lived, everybody had big gardens, and we'd go for a walk, and we'd just like step if we got a. We always carried a salt shaker in our back pocket when we went for a walk, and we
Yep.
would like grab a tomato, or we might pick an apple off somebody's tree as we was walking down the road, to
Hmm.
just to have a snack. Yeah, we did that many times. It was. I think people are too. I don't want to say it the wrong way and offend somebody. I think they baby kids too much nowadays.
Hmm.
They're so
Helicopter kids.
baby they
Helicopter
can't.
parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not just that. It's the uh, they're letting go of the wrong things. In other words, oh, I can't discipline my kid, but and they have to be really clean. Well, let them, discipline them and let them get dirty. They're not going to die. I've seen it going both ways.
The problem with raising kids is to have a child that is obedient to you, is looking for boundaries. If you don't give them boundaries, they keep
They're not
pushing.
happy.
Well, they're not happy and they keep pushing to find that boundary. Once you give them a boundary, then they're fine.
I've
It's
also
when,
had kids tell me too that when I told their parents, I was like, you need to give, it's like they need rules, and they're just like, well, rules make me feel like you love me, like you care about how I act and how people, whether or not people like me or not.
Mhm.
And they're like, oh, well, we didn't think about it. I said, you got to think about it. How would you? I always put myself in the place of my kids. How would I feel if this was me? What would I want my parents to say to me? How would I
Mhm.
want to put this? But
Right.
I have a sister-in-law whose kids, plural, never were allowed on the floor. Her son was 2 years old. And she goes, I can't believe he's not walking yet. I was like, you got to let him off the couch. He
Yeah.
has to be off the couch. You can't keep him on the couch and expect him to learn to walk. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
But he'll get dirty. I said, that's what they make soap for.
Okay. So my daughter's husband, uh, he had a child before she met him, and we met him when he was 2 years old, and he started coming to our house on the weekends, and she put his food in front of him, and he just stared at her, and I'm like, okay, eat, and he just stares at her, and so her husband texts his mother. And she goes, why isn't he eating? We gave him his food. And she goes, oh, you have to feed him. And I looked at them and I said, you're not feeding that baby. Not in my house.
How old was he?
2. I
I
said,
had the camera ready for my kids feeding themselves for the first time because I could not wait.
I
It's so
told
hilarious.
he asked her, he goes, why do you feed him? Oh, I don't want him to get dirty. He got off the phone. He goes, she doesn't let him feed himself. I said, um, he's gonna learn how now.
He's gonna starve, or he's gonna learn
Or
how to eat.
he's gonna eat or he's gonna starve because we're not feeding him at 2. There's no way. Welcome back,
I
Herb.
went to the dollar store and got one of those vinyl tablecloths. I would
Uh-huh.
put it down on the floor, put the high chair on top of it.
Exactly.
All I had to do was take it outside and hose it off. It wasn't a big deal.
That's right.
Uh,
And
Herb,
babies, their skin cleans off really well too.
everything okay, Herb?
His,
And he says he's back and the nurse
He
is
said he was
gone.
sick earlier, and he just said that the nurse is gone.
he says that every night.
Oh, maybe she comes in to check you.
I think that's his wife.
Oh, okay. Hey, I felt like a nurse a few times.
I could be wrong. For a while there, when he had an open sore on his foot, he did have somebody coming in part of the
Yeah,
time. But he did in home, but I think that's his wife now. But I could be wrong. I think that's what he had said.
So aren't we all our husbands' nursemaids at some point or another?
You know what my
No,
husband
well,
said today? You know what my husband said to me today? It was hilarious. I was telling him something to do. Or no, I said, "Don't tell me what to do." And oh, it's both. See, I knew it was both. Okay. So I was telling him to do something, and he goes, "I can't even be my own boss." And I says, "Have you ever really been?" He goes, "No." I said,
Exactly. Me and Bill was joking around before he went to work, and I was like, "Yes, the king of your domain." He goes, "Uh huh." He says, "I'm the man." Have you ever heard the "I'm the man" song?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, there you go. And I just looked and I said, "It is not that bad."
Well, um, Ron calls me. Okay, his dad always called his mom or ma or mother. And when we first got married, Ron started doing that. And I said, I'm not your mother. Don't call me that. Don't call me that every time. Don't call me that. And then about a year or so later, I realized that I was answering to it.
Yeah, because they get you immune to it
Yes,
when they catch you when you're not paying attention.
right. And so that's what he calls me. And he goes, you're not, what do you think you are, my mother? Apparently I am because I have to tell you what to do. And you call me that anyway. So
I got Bill. I think we've been married for like 5 years. And he always introduced me, but he introduced me as, this is my wife. He never told anybody my name. He's just like, this is my wife. And I just called him. I was like, hey. He said, what? And I said, do you realize I have a name? Yeah. I say, why don't you ever use it? He said, I do. I was like, no. I said, you call me babe. You call me honey. You call me sweetheart. But you never call me by my name. He still doesn't. He seldom, if ever, uses my name. Now, when he introduces me now, he uses my name now. Because he's like, I didn't realize I was doing that. And I was like, yeah, I am a person too, not just your wife. And I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, I was married to a man. I said, he doesn't even know what my name is. It's like, how drunk was he at the wedding? And he just looked at me. He goes, you know damn well I wasn't drinking at our wedding. And I was like, yeah. I said, because my little brother, we couldn't find him. We had a double wedding. And his fiance comes to me and she said, we can't find him. I said, what do you mean you can't find him? She's like, he's gone. And I was like, it's a freaking church. There's nowhere, look in the graveyard. There's nowhere for him to go. And because this church was out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
At that time, it's all built up now. But at that time, it was, there was nothing out there. He was in his mother-in-law's car. He was so drunk.
Oh, geez.
My husband and his brother had to carry him into the church, walk him into the church, and then had to prop him up against his best man to get through the ceremony. And I told him then, I said, dude, I said, if you have to get drunk to get married, you're marrying the wrong person.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, I was just nervous. I was like, no.
If I was a bride, I would say, no, not doing it.
So
He was drunk.
how long did that marriage last?
They're still married, but
They're not
they
together.
have been separated for 8 years. He got arrested and she moved out to live with her dealer.
Oh, lovely.
So they have never divorced.
Ah.
Because she won't go to the courthouse because she has warrants out against her. And he wasn't going to the courthouse because he wasn't giving her that satisfaction.
Oh.
I was like, whatever. He's like, well, I'm never getting married again anyway, so it don't matter. And I was like, whatever. It's y'all's life, not mine. But they didn't have a good marriage. I mean, there was all kinds of factors going into it, but he got married because, once again, my parents told him, why can't you be more like your sister? Look, she's settling down. And then 2 months after I got engaged, he asked his girlfriend to marry him, which he had known. He'd only known her for about a year.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I remember the first night they spent together because he got up the next morning and he's like, who's the chick in my bed? And I looked at him, I said, how do I know? I was like, I was at work. I was like, y'all, you were in bed when I got home from work. Well, I don't know who it is. And I said, that's fucking scary. I'm sorry. To me, that's scary. And I told him, I said, you need to go get tested. For what?
Everything.
24, dude. What do you think you need to get tested for?
Well, so me and Ron, we had a really long engagement. We met January 8th of 1983.
That was my parents' anniversary.
He asked me to marry him 20 days later. We moved in together 5 days later. We got married 6 weeks later on March 15th.
Bill wanted to get married a week after we met. I was like, no.
It was from we met on January 8th. We got married on March 15th. And we've been married for almost 42 years.
Yeah. I just wasn't ready. I was just like, I don't know you enough to marry you.
Yeah.
Turned out I picked pretty good.
Me too.
Not complaining. There were two brothers, and of the two, I got the better one. And that's just not because he's mine. I mean, I've seen them mature as men. I got the better deal.
Yeah.
I mean, his brother is a lovely person, but he and I, because they were both trying to see who could ask me out first, and it wouldn't have worked out because I'd have walked all over that man. I would have made him miserable because he was just I take a strong personality. I have a very strong personality, and I needed a very strong personality to counterbalance that.
Same here. In fact, listen to this. Me and Ron, we'd been married about 6 weeks. And his sisters
Liv, key.
came over when Ron was at work and asked me if I was okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Why are you asking? They're like, are you sure? Is everything okay between you and Ron? And I'm like, yes. Why are you asking? And they're like, well, we know Ron can get really mean and he's got a really hot temper and all of that. And I said, well, he married someone just like him then. And they're like, oh. And I said, yeah. Oh, stay out of my marriage. And I've had run-ins with all but one of his sisters. And because they thought that they could get into our marriage and cause problems. Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
His entire family did us that way. They were all involved.
His
And I don't know what I ever did to those people other than just making him stand up to him for once.
None of his brothers ever had any issues with me. But his sisters, okay, first of all, his oldest sister, me and Ron was having a fight. We were just barely married. We were having a fight. Okay. Ron goes over to his parents' house to lift weights. And he left and I was mad. And he was mad. And I called the house and I said, I need to talk to Ron. And Denise, his sister, you can't talk to him. I'm like, excuse me? And she goes, he's lifting. I said, I don't really give a damn. I said, put him on the phone. And she goes, no. And I said, then I'm going to put your head in a headlock and beat the crap out of you the next time I see you. Put him on the phone now. She did. So it took us years before we mended those problems. So I'm like, you're not married to him. I am. You ain't telling me if I'm not going to talk to him. So she put him on the phone. His younger sister, she abused my kids, and I threatened to call the cops on her, told her to never touch my kids again. Ron tried to stand up for her, and I said, then you can go out. You know where the door is. And he's like, no, I believe you. And then his one of his sisters is just, he only had 6 sisters. Actually, I didn't have any problems with 2 of his sisters. But the other 4 I had issues with. But they know better than to try and step on my toes anymore.
Yeah, I think his mom's finally cluing in on that. She still tries every once in a while.
His parents I never had any issues with his parents. Never
his mom would call me and ask me about our sex life. I'm like, what business is it of yours?
Oh my gosh.
I said, that's just creepy.
Yep.
Well, I want more grandkids. I said, well, guess what? We're not having any more kids. We have 2. That's all. I said, you do realize I got my tubes tied. I'm not having any more kids.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you should have at least 5. And I said, you want more kids? Go get pregnant.
Exactly. I have never been in my kids' marriages. I've never, ever. And his family, his parents never did. Only his sisters. And I put them in their place. And they never got back in there. His one sister I won't talk to. She is a nosy person, and she likes to lie and spread rumors. And so I will not talk to her anymore. And every so often she'll talk to Ron and she'll say, I keep trying to call Connie and she doesn't answer. I keep trying to get her on my Facebook and she won't accept my friend requests. And Ron came to me and he goes, Connie, you need to accept Brenda on your Facebook or you need to answer her calls. And I said, she's blocked. And every time she makes a new account, I block it and I won't talk to her. And he goes, but you need to. I said, actually, no, I don't. And I'm not. So I don't.
His sister blocked me on hers, and she made a big deal out of telling me that
Of
we
course.
think it was like Easter dinner or something like that, and she's like, "Oh, by the way, I blocked you on Facebook," and I was like, "Good for you." So like, you know how to use that block button, and she goes, "Well, it don't bother you," and I said, "Not really." I was like, "My world will not end." And his mom was just sitting there because she has never even looked at a computer. She don't know nothing about it. She's like, "Well, what is Facebook?" So they had everybody was sitting there explaining Facebook to her, and I was just looking at his sister, and I started laughing, and she's like, "What?" And I said, "I can't believe that you think that I'm actually that interested in your life. That it's gonna break my heart because you blocked me on Facebook."
Right.
The only reason I did it is because Bill's wanted pictures of his niece and nephew.
Yeah.
And I would get on there and take and steal the pictures and put them in the album for him so he would have them.
Yeah. With her, the reason I block her is because every time she talks to you, then she spreads rumors about you to the whole family. And I'm like, yeah, you can't be in my life. I won't allow you in my life.
That's my sister-in-law.
And I told Ron, I said, you're not allowed to tell her anything about me or our kids.
That's his sister-in-law, not my sister-in-law. I'm not claiming her. She's not married to my brother.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell him. I was like, because she'll call and I was like, oh, favorite person's on the phone. He goes, you talked to her, and I was like, it's not. She didn't marry my brother. And he's like, well, she wanted me to pass on a message. And I was like, what is it? And he told me, and I was like, okay. And he goes, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, nothing. Tried to push us for a long time to go to church with him. And I was just like, nah.
So true, Tracy.
Yes, it's very true.
Very true. Do not.
Nobody needs toxic people in their life.
No.
Nope.
And I'm not. They have to have. All of them. They're always fighting about something. Somebody's always mad at somebody else, and I'm like, that's why I quit associating with his family.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, my life's been a lot more peaceful since then. Just zen yarn. Yes.
Well, okay, so when I was pregnant with our son, we hadn't been married not even a year yet. And we had a fight. And he was in the tub. And I am a thrower of things. When I get mad, if I have anything in my hand, it's going to go flying. And I flung a bunch of stuff off the shelf at him. And he picked it up and threw it back across the room at me. And one little toy hit my stomach. And I was pregnant. It didn't hurt me. Didn't even leave a mark. And I told her because I thought I could trust her. She told the whole family that Ron has hit me when I was pregnant.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
That's when I stopped having anything to do with her. We hadn't even been married a year. Like, no.
Why do people have to do shit like that, you know?
I don't know.
They can be happy.
I told them when they asked me, I said, you know what, if Ron ever hits me, I'm going to hit him back and he's going to wish he never hit me because I'll do it when he's not awake. And he'll wish he had never hit me. But he won't. He's never raised a finger to me.
Yeah.
We have this thing we play. He'll say, um, I should clobber you. And I said, go for it. Let's do it now. He's like, he's like, no, you know I would never hit you. I said, I know that, but that's playing. It's not
Yeah,
an
people
it's
don't
not
always
an
understand
anger,
playing.
huh?
People don't always understand playing.
Yeah, well, if you're around us, you do.
I mean, it's like, it took my sister. It took my oldest son even said it took him for a while to realize that me and Bill were not actually arguing,
Hmm.
even though it sounded like we were fighting with you. And I was like, because he's like, y'all need to calm down and not fight. And we're looking at him like, we're not fighting. It's okay. And my sister would do the same thing. I was like, she's like, y'all fight all the time. And I was like, sis, that wasn't a fight. I said, that wasn't even. I said, if we ever get in a fight, believe me, you will know we were in a fight.
Exactly, exactly. Because me and Ron, we banter
Yeah.
all day long. In fact, Jessica, Jessica, my oldest daughter who lives with us, she goes, I wish I had a camera to catch you guys bantering. She goes, because it's absolutely hilarious. She goes, I'd put it on TikTok. And I'm like, well, good thing you're not going to do that. So she's like, Mom, can I have that footage from the camera, the camera you have in that living room? I said, no, you cannot. I could give it to you.
Bill's just a butthead. I mean, I love him, but he's a
Yeah,
butthead.
so's Ron.
And I tell him that all the time. He
Yeah.
just looks at it as a term of endearment at this point. He's like,
Oh,
oh, I know you. I mean, you love me.
well, Ron's. See, I call Ron the. I don't want to say it.
Yep.
I call him a name, and it's not politically correct, but it's not meaning because I think that that's what he is. That's just a term I use.
When Bill is really, really like being obnoxious,
Uh huh.
and I'll just look at him and I'm like, D much? And
Uh
he
huh.
knows, you know what word I'm using.
Hmm.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about. And he'll just stop and look at me. He's like, oh, I didn't really mean for it to come out that way. And I was like, think before you speak. I was like, because I will call your ass on it.
Yeah, I call him all kinds of names, and because he. Okay, so Ron loves to bug people. He really loves to irritate people and bug people. That's his favorite thing to do. And I react to it, but that's what we do. We go back and forth, and he does that with our daughter too. He banters with her as well. He loves it. He has a shirt that says, "I got this shirt from my daughter who professes to love me."
Hmm.
My daughter bought the dang shirt for him. Hi, Catherine. Yeah, so it's my daughter who professes to love me gave me this shirt. Hey, John, Nightbot's welcoming you in.
That's awesome. Hey, Catherine, how's it going?
Friday, Lorelai looked at Bill and she goes, you know what? You're my favorite Pops. And he sat there and looked at her. He's like, I'm your only Pops. She said, I know. You have no competition. Like Dave said, see, you
Nice.
don't have to compete. I've got to compete.
Yeah,
And he's like, what does that even mean? I was like, it means something to her, so just laugh and keep going. I said, she'll explain it to you someday.
I still love it when my kids would say, "You're my most favorite mom." I'm like,
Yeah.
I am your only mom.
I get to take her clothes shopping Thursday.
For school?
Yes.
Kindergarten?
She needs some winter clothes.
Oh, is it for kindergarten or
It's preschool.
preschool?
Well, she technically tested out of preschool, but she has to be in preschool until at least January,
Mm,
and then they're going to put her into kindergarten class
cool.
because her birthday's in December.
Oh,
So technically, she can't go into a kindergarten class until after her 5th birthday. But now they've started. It used to be that she would have to wait until the next school year.
exactly.
Almost 6. But what they're doing now is in preschool, they're allowing the kids, if they can test out of preschool, they only have to stay in preschool until when school starts back in January.
That's cool.
And then they'll put her in the kindergarten class. So yes, and no.
Mm-hmm.
It's for kindergarten and preschool. But I was noticing when she was here Friday, and he put her in a pair of pants. I said, honey. He said, what? And I said, you realize she dug it herself all day. And he goes, oh. He said, do I need to take her to the doctor? Is it another yeast infection? I said, no, it's because her damn pants are too tight.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, little girls cannot wear tight pants. I said, it's not good for their health. And
Right.
he was like, well, he said, can you take us shopping? And I was like, yeah, I'll take you shopping.
Yeah.
And it was like a couple of months ago, I swear to God, those pants fit her good. And it was just like, now they just barely come below her knee. I was just like looking at her. I said, you're growing too fast. I said, slow down.
Yeah, I was gonna say so my oldest grandson is 22 and he stands way taller than me. And my other grandson who lives with us, he's gonna be 20 and he stands way taller than me. And then Kira, who's 18, stands way lower than me. She's done growing. She's short. She's little, tiny. She weighs about 85 pounds. And she's just an itty bitty thing. And then Zaylee is taller than me by about 2 inches. And Joey is 11 and stands right at my same height. He's going to be taller.
Yeah.
And then Keegan is like right up to here and he's 8. And Hudson is like up to my boobs
Chest.
and chest. And then Joey, or no, not Joey, Jackson was a premature, and he was so tiny for so long, and now he's sprouting up. And he's 5, and he's getting up there.
Yeah, she's not 5. She'll be 5 in December. But her head is up under my armpit already. She's
Yeah.
going to be really tall like her mommy is. Her mom's a little over 6 foot.
Now, see, my oldest grandson, his dad is 6'4". His younger brother, who is 17, is 6'7", and still growing. But his family, his mom's side of the family, they're all really, really tall, and so it doesn't surprise us because he has a different mother.
Most of the people in both sides of the family were average. We had a few that was above average height, but for the most part, they was just average heights. Or like my dad's mother was like my sister. She was like 4'11".
Mm-hmm.
She didn't even make 5 foot, which is about where my sister is. But his great grandmother was only 4.5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, Ron's family. There was 14 kids in the family, and he had one young brother that was 5'6", and the rest of them are from like 5'6" to 6'1", and then his 2 youngest brothers are 6'4" and 6'5".
Okay, Herb. Sleep well.
Yes, Herb. Take care. Sleep well. See you tomorrow at my premiere, which I got to finish editing that video.
Night, Herb.
Take care, buddy.
Do you guys want to see a preview? I know Herb doesn't, but I can show you a preview of the painting if you want to see it. You guys want to see it?
Sure.
Let me make my screen not so bright.
Oh, I remember that picture.
John, do you remember that picture?
I didn't see that much of the road though.
I know.
Artistic interpretation.
Yeah,
It's my interpretation.
that's cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Damn, our lines on her road straighter than our state road ride drivers can do.
And I just did that.
They're redoing a road. They're like making it into a 2-lane road into a 3-lane road.
Yeah.
And we hadn't been, they're just now, they've been working on it for like 9 years.
Uh-huh.
And it's not even that long of a stretch of road. It's not even a half a mile. I shit you not.
Well,
And
not
they have
only-
been working on it for 9 years. But I noticed when I went, I was like, oh, I said, they finally blacktop it. They've got all the lanes open. And I
Mhm.
was watching, I was like, lean up here. And Bill said, what? I said, look at the line on the road, the center line. And it was going in a straight stretch. It was a straight stretch. There was no curves. I was like, they're going to have people come through here and they're going to pull them over thinking they're drunk and they're just following the line on the road.
Well, what's funny about that is I don't use a ruler. When
I can't draw a straight line with a ruler anyway.
Yeah, that's all freehand. Some people draw
You could do it.
some people draw their painting with pencil on their canvas and then they paint it. No, I don't. No, I can't do that.
Most of the people I know that do that, they don't actually strictly stay to that drawing. It
No,
just
they
gives them
don't.
an idea of placement of where they want things to be, and they say it just gives them kind of a guideline. Like if you would cut it off in grids, it just gives them a guideline. Because I'm like, doesn't the lead show through the paint?
It does sometimes.
And my niece said that if it's charcoal pencil, will show through.
Yes.
But she said if you use graphite, you can use and have to be really, really
Has
light.
to be super light.
Yeah. She said just barely lay it down to where you have to kind of strain to see the lines. She said then it won't show through the paint because my niece paints a lot.
Okay, so you're gonna when I'm painting this tomorrow, you're gonna see I made some mistakes. But by the time I'm done, you will not be able to see those mistakes.
You know, I think that is the saddest thing with her brain tumor is she has lost her ability to paint. Now she can quilt. She's turning out some beautiful quilts.
Mm-hmm.
So, like the vintage dress. She's the one that does the vintage dresses and stuff I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But she said she sat down and tried to paint and she can't paint anymore. She said it comes out just as blobs of color, but there's no definition whatsoever.
That's too bad.
And I think it's bothering her because that used to be one of her major outlets was her painting. She loved to paint.
Yeah.
And been doing it since she was Lorelai's age. I think first time we gave her paints and a brush. She had one of those little Tykes easels where you have the big pad of paint on it. Yep, she's been painting since then. That's always been her first love.
Same
Painting
here.
and reading. Yeah. But she said it kind of, the picture she showed me kind of looked like a toddler that you let loose with. I mean, she's like, see what I mean? And she used to do some really intricate, like fairies, sitting on the branch of a tree, the moon and the grass. It's kind of like stuff that you do. And she's like, I can't. She said, I can't do it anymore. She said, I don't know what happened. She said she can't draw anymore either.
Huh. Because I love to draw too. Mm-hmm. You guys don't get to see very many of my drawings.
Why not?
I don't know.
Do you find your drawings more personal than your paintings?
No, I don't find them as good. I'm being
John, does
truthful.
that sound familiar to you?
Yep.
Kind of like words that come out of your mouth?
Yeah.
Mhm. Let me see. I've got one of my drawings on here.
And
John,
that is because
I think
truly
John has
talented
seen it.
people feel like they have no talent.
Okay, here's a drawing that I did a few months ago.
You're getting late. You need to work on your faces. And
Yeah, tell me about it.
I'll tell you how my niece, because she used
Okay.
to do a lot of faces, what she told me to do, and I
Yeah.
started doing is I took an entire sheet and I just drew different eyes.
Oh,
I
I'm
took
good
an
at
entire
eyes.
all noses, all chins, all lips, and
See,
cheekbones and things. Yeah, I love to draw eyes.
I do too.
And she's like, "Why?" And I said, "Eyes are easy." And she said, "You know, eyes. Everybody always finds the eyes are the hardest." And I've always thought the eyes was the easiest.
So that's another one I did.
That's not bad.
No, not bad. But I don't usually draw people. I draw all kinds of things, but I usually don't draw people.
Maybe people is just not your thing.
I used to have to do it, and I hated it. And maybe that's why. In school,
That's
I had
just
to do a
not where
portrait.
your niche
Oh,
sits. A lot of people are like, they have one particular thing that they do well, and if they go off into another area, as like my niece is real, she can draw the human body really well, but from the head up, she has problems. And so she just started doing her paintings and drawings just of the torso and the legs
well,
because she did
people.
that better.
Someone asked in the group that I'm in on Facebook. It's an art group, and one person asked, "Why are you guys always, when you're people, you have them from the side or from the back?" And I was like, "Because you don't have to do a face.
Yeah, much easier.
Much, much easier."
Is Jess not coming back? She
I
poofing.
don't know.
I mean, I knew she poofed a long time ago, but I was just thought maybe she was having internet trouble.
Oh, I don't know. I love painting landscapes. I love painting cityscapes, which I have not done very many of them recently, but I love doing cityscapes.
I don't think I've
And
ever painted a cityscape. I don't think I've ever drawn one either.
I love doing cityscapes. That's one of the first things one of the things I started doing when I was a teenager was cityscapes. I did a lot of botanicals, and they would give us different mediums and tell us, this is what you need to show me what you can do in this genre or whatever. If it was botanicals, if it was landscaping, or whatever it was, with different mediums. So they gave us ink and said, do a drawing with ink from a bottle.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn how to do that. They gave us these black sheets of thick paper, and they gave us these little tools, and they said, now do a picture. And we're like, well, what is this? And they're like, you need to do a scratch. It's called a scratch
Yeah.
drawing. Love doing that. I still have them somewhere. I love doing scratch uh, drawings. And then we had to do a painting with glue, which was really weird. That kind I told you about with the glue dry temper paint.
Yeah. Now I have done glue paintings and then painted over the glue for like trees to give the trees dimension and stuff.
I've
I've done
done that. I've done that. Um, then we did uh, all different. We had to do lots of chalk. I never did gouache until a couple of years ago. Did acrylics, did oils. I actually didn't do acrylics that much. I did more oils. And I don't do oils now. Not that I don't have them, because I do. I don't do them because I don't like the dry time. Hate dry time.
Yeah, but oil paints last a lot longer than acrylics.
I know. I know. But
Yeah, I've
Um,
got that. I didn't know that there was that much of a difference, and I was noticed that my acrylics paints were all dried up and my oils were like brand new. I'm like, huh. I haven't used oils very much. My dad always did oils. That was his
my
preferred.
mother did too. And in fact, I still have some of her oil paints from back when she used to paint 40, 50 years ago. The oil paints are still viable. Um, I just don't do it very often. And
Chris Kay
excuse
said she used to draw castlescapes, and then she had the stroke.
uh
Well, those are cool too.
yes,
I
they
am
are.
not good at buildings. I am really not even crude ones. You know how like you'll do like the crude log cabin in a like
That
a
I've
pasture
done.
scene. Yeah, I'm not good at buildings of any kind.
You know, it's a technique that you have to understand the angles because you want to draw it and then you have it flat, and so it doesn't look real. You have to learn the right angles to make it look like it's moving away from you,
Perspective.
like a corner
Perspective.
Yeah,
or a different.
it's perspective,
Yeah,
and
the
I suck at
perspective.
perspective drawings. Yeah,
Yeah, so you have to learn the right angles because the angles of the the buildings is what's going to give you that perspective to make it look like it's far away. Just like with my paintings, when I make it look like something's in the foreground and the background, I give it that perspective. And a lot of it is just I don't even understand how I do it. I just do it. I don't understand. I mean, how do I make something on a painting look like it's going downhill?
yeah. The only thing that I did well with in art class was when we were doing macrame. I
Oh,
picked macrame up real fast.
I love macrame.
I was
I
like,
love
I can do this.
I love basket weaving too.
And we didn't have basket. We macrame was about the funnest thing we ever did. We did
Oh,
the lino where you had to carve the line, the like the linoleum tile,
uh-huh.
and then you'd make prints with it. We did
Right.
the painting on glass, and then you put the foil behind it
Mm-hmm.
so it would stand. And that was okay. But when he went into perspective drawing, and I was sitting there looking, that's when I learned I couldn't draw a straight line with a ruler. And he would just come over and he would like look at my brothers because my brother was a really good artist, and he would look at my brothers, and then he would look at mine and he'd look at me, and I was like, I don't have any talent when it comes to drawing. Sorry, this is not my thing. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I took home ec, and I was like, oh yeah, until I had to sew. Did really good with the cooking part.
Yeah.
No problem there. No problem with the shopping part because they
What?
would like give you a budget. What they did is they because we our my school was way out in the boonies.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a room that they fixed up like a supermarket. They would give you a budget, and you would go to the supermarket and get the things that you needed to make that meal, staying within your budget. And I
Mm-hmm.
was good at that. I had no problem with that. But yeah, and there's like, and we're going to sew a dress. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, do we have to wear it? And she goes, well, you'll love wearing it. And I was like, I ain't going to love anything that I come up with. One sleeve was like way down below my knee, and the other one was like had just down. It was horrible. It was freaking horrible. And I just like, and my mom's like, I can fix it. I said, no, this is my grade. You're not going to fix it. I
See,
told her that I was not good at this, and what it was is she did. There was two different patterns in the same pattern. It was a long sleeve dress and a short sleeve dress,
uh,
and I thought I was supposed to make because I was like, maybe it's a fashion. It was the '80s, maybe it's a fashion statement kind of thing. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
okay, so my mom taught me how to sew when I was 8 years old. I was sewing baby clothes and everything for my sister's baby when I was 8 and 9, and I loved to sew. And when I got to junior high and home ec, we went into the sewing section. Sewing we had it was split up in sewing, knitting, cooking, and just self taking care of yourself, self care. So I went into the sewing one and they're like, okay, so here's your patterns. We're going to do a um, skirt and then we're going to do a t-shirt. And I'm like, okay. And so they said, you need this and this and this. So I came back the next day with the fabric to make it. And she was having us lay it out and measure and da 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 da. And I'm like, do we really have to do this? Can I just do it? And she's like, no, you have to do it this way. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I cut it out and I said, can I take this home to sew? And she goes, yes, but if you bring it back and it looks like your mother's sewn it, you'll get an F. And I'm like, okay, I'll take it home and I'll sew it. So I took it home. I sewed the skirt and the dress, or the top that night. I took it back, and she looked at it and she goes, "You're getting an F." I said, "Why?" And she goes, "Because your mother did that." I said, "No, she did not." And so I called my mom. She came down. She goes, "That's her work. She could do it for you right now on this sewing machine." And she goes, "She's gonna have to prove it." I said, "Fine." So I sewed a T-shirt in about less than 20 minutes, ribbing around the neck and everything, hem, everything. And she goes, "Okay, fine." She's got an A. I said, "Thank you."
I think
And
ours was like sewing, cooking, and laundry.
oh, we didn't do that. And then
We lived in a freaking country. I was looking around like, who in this room does not know how to do a load of laundry? I was shocked.
oh wow,
Oh no, my mom always does the laundry. And they're looking like, you know how to do laundry? And it's like, well, we got a wringer washer. Yeah, I know how to do laundry.
yeah, we had a ringer washer too, but the knitting part, they're like, okay, you can pick out your own pattern, um, da 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 da. And I picked out a tube top. I wanted a tube top to wear to the beach, and the teacher's like looking at the pattern. She goes, "I don't think that's a good idea for you to do." I said, "Why?" And she goes, "It's 148 stitches on your needles." She goes, "I don't think you can do that. I think you'll drop stitches." I said, "I know how to pick stitches up." And she goes, "Well, how did you learn that?" I said, "From the people who taught me how to knit. They taught me how to pick up stitches." And she goes, "Well, you'll get an F if you drop a stitch." I said, "Fine." So in 2 weeks, well, about 2 weeks, I made two different ones and got an A plus. And it was ribbing.
I wish they had
One,
offered more stuff like that when I was in home ec. And
yeah,
the
I
thing
had.
that always pisses us off, boys were not allowed to take home ec, and girls were
Oh,
not allowed to take it up. This was in
oh,
the 80s.
well, I was there in the 70s, and the boys could do whatever. Well, they could if they wanted to, but they didn't. But a lot of girls did shop.
Me and
See,
Shelly and Laura all joined the FFA,
Hmm.
and they're like, you can't join because you're female. It's you had the Future Farmers of America and FHA, which is Future Homemakers of America. And it
so
pissed us
women
off.
couldn't be
Like,
farmers.
why do I have to be a homemaker? Why can't I be a farmer?
That doesn't make any sense at all.
And I'm going like, and they're like, oh, well, you can't, you don't know how to pole, you don't know how to castrate. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I do it on the farm. Oh, I'm sure your father or brothers do it. And I'm like, no, my brothers gag and pass out.
Hmm.
I said, my dad's just sitting there wincing with his legs crossed. I don't have a problem with it.
Right.
Is that terrible? But yeah, they ended up, they had to, we threatened to take them to court, and they finally let us join. And I'm, all three of us girls was out there doing everything that the guys was doing without a problem. And the only
Yeah.
Well,
reason
that,
we did it, the only, honest to God, the only reason he did it had nothing political, no feminism, is just simply because they told us we couldn't. And I was just like, I said, are we going to let them get away with telling us what we can and can't do? And I said, these are men. Do we really want to send that message to men that they're going to tell us what to do? That was
Uh,
the reason
yeah.
behind it.
You tell me I can't do something, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah. And it wasn't even that they said you can't do it. It said you're not able to do it because you're a girl.
Yeah, I've been told that before. It doesn't work.
Yeah. Especially not to a girl that grew up with 5 brothers and have been competing with males since the day she was born.
Well, you know.
Like, I'm a woodworker.
Yeah. Well, at my house, I'm the one who has all the tools. Ron has a chainsaw that he's only used once and is scared of it.
Yeah. When my son was with his ex-girlfriend, she wanted tools. He wanted kitchen equipment. So that's what they got as gifts. And because he wanted to improve his cooking skills, he said, Mom, he said, you and I don't know, I am never going to be a person that builds things. He said, it's just not me. He has tried. He did try. He was just like, it was. I was like, if you want to cook, you cook. If she wants to build, let her build. She built their bed.
Yeah.
She was just like, she went and looked at the prices and she's like, we're going to Home Depot. We went to Home Depot and she priced the lumber. She said, I can make us a bed cheaper and I can buy one. I was like, you do you. I said, you want to make a bed? You make a bed.
Thank you, Tracy.
I made our bed platform in our bedroom, and I've made our dining room table and benches. I've made the two sets of shelves behind me. I did Ron's desk. I've done my plant things. I've done my island. I've done so many different things.
I made us a picnic table for the front porch, and at the time when I made it, I used out of reclaimed wood, and it looked nice. It was beautiful when I got done, but the porch was not covered, and we had nowhere to store it. So we were putting a tarp over it in the wintertime, but it rotted like I think like 5 years. I was like picking it. I was like, no, I said, it's done. I said, and he's like, oh, you can sand it off. And I was like, no, look. And I was like, when you can dig your finger in the wood, I said, the wood's dead. It's time to let it go. So we ended up tossing it on. He said, all that work you put into that, I spent a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Just doing the finish on it because I wanted it to look, because it's going to be on the porch. You want it to look nice.
Right.
But it served its purpose for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I've made end tables, things. I would love to learn how to make chairs. But in order to learn how to make chairs, you have to learn how to turn so you can make the spindles and the legs.
Not necessarily.
I don't want square legs. I want to do intricate designs. I want to do it my way. Hey, Yarn Barf.
Hey, Yarn Barf.
Hey, Christy, how you doing?
Hi, Christy.
What are you up to, Christy?
Fell asleep on us.
I think she did. Oh,
no,
not
I
Joe.
was me. No, but I was eating.
Oh, okay.
I think Jess fell asleep on us.
Do you want to see the picture?
Say not me. I've been awake.
This is one picture of my dining room table and one of the benches that I made. It's 7 feet long.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. And the benches are 6 feet long.
See, that's the kind of dining room table not 7 feet long because my kitchen's not that big, but that's the kind of table I want. I think I like benches better than I like chairs.
Yeah, I like the benches. And then the island is 5 feet by 3 feet. Let's see if I can find a good picture. This is it without the top.
Oh, that's nice.
And then
that's
the top
too.
Yeah, and then the top looks like this that I painted and sealed it with resin.
Oh, did you use the Total Boat?
What?
Did you use the Total Boat resin?
What do you mean?
Brand Total Boat?
No. It was just kitchen. It's food grade. And I
The
painted
Total
it.
Boat that they use on countertops is food grade, but
Okay, that might
Total
be.
Boat is like a brand.
I don't know if it's
Mm.
Total Boot or not. I have to look it up, but I got it
Yeah.
off Amazon.
And Chrissy says she's got finished putting together a mainstay shoe rack holder that
That hangs.
hangs on the door, taking 3 hours of struggling to figure it out. Oh my.
Oh wow.
Well, Christy, you should have gone on video live and had people
Mhm.
give you all the information on how to do it properly. Of course, it's
I
gonna hold
finally
yarn.
got her done.
I'm
It's the whole.
seriously considering getting one of those to
I
hang
was
my.
actually thinking about that the
Yeah,
other day
it's
too.
gonna hold yarn.
I was
I
gonna
made a
put one on the end of my shelf.
yeah, I
I'll
made a
have a
shoe
closet door there I can put it on.
I made a shoe rack also for one of my videos, and it holds all my shoes in my bedroom. It's made out of wood, not.
I don't have enough shoes to warrant a shoe rack. Me and Bill
Oh,
together don't have enough shoes to warrant a shoe rack.
be surprised.
Nope. He's got his work shoes, which also double as his dress shoes, because they have to wear dress shoes to work with their uniform. And he has tennis shoes that he works in, and his winter boots. That's like work boots, lace up. That's it. That's all he's got. I've got a pair of high tops, a pair of low tops, a pair of sandals, and a pair of dress shoes for
You
funeral.
I
sound
got
like
sand.
me. I don't have very many shoes either.
I got
No.
work boots, a pair of sneakers that I wear in the shop, a pair of sandals that are in the trailer that I maybe wear twice a year, and a pair of dress shoes. Oxford.
Let's see.
Okay,
Let's see.
Chris. I'll
Let me
look here in a minute.
let me see if I
The way
can
I look at
remember.
it is like this. I've only got one pair of feet, and I can only wear one pair of shoes at a time.
Exactly.
Okay, I have a pair of black knee-high boots, a pair of black ankle boots, a pair of gray knee-high boots, and a pair of tan knee-high boots. No, brown. And then I have ankle tan. I have 4 pairs of tennis shoes. I have about seven pairs of different sandals, some flip flops. I got a couple of dress shoes. I just got lots of shoes. It's never enough.
You're fine.
I love shoes.
And I know somebody that I went to high school with. She must have probably 120 pairs of flip flops.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've got 2 pairs. I've got a black
Like
pair and a
like
blue pair.
yeah, she'll usually wear 3 or 4 different pairs a day, but depending on what kind of mood she's in, depends on where she's walking, depends on what her outfit is. Yeah, she's got like fancy dress, like dress flip flops.
My son's best friend, who is a guy, has a pair of dress flip flops. That's what he calls them, his dress flip flops.
What's as
And
bad as it's as bad as
he
blinged out
has
Crocs, right?
he
Oh,
wears
I
a
don't like Crocs.
16 and a half shoe, and his shoes are but he said he can always find flip flops real cheap to buy. But it cost him a lot of money to buy shoes because his foot's so big. So he wears flip flops 90% of the time. When he goes to
Wow.
work, he wears the shoes that he bought for work. But yeah, he said it's just too expensive.
Mm.
All right, I got 3 more lines added, 3 more rows added to this. I just don't like the
Awesome.
way it's going in the middle though. Gotta figure that
Looks
out.
like it's puffing.
Yeah, I know.
It is kind of getting puffy. Did you?
But so what I just did though, I added an extra V stitch at the bottom of this, so it's gonna start bringing it back out again. I should have done it earlier, but because I lost my spine about halfway through, but it's fine. It's my first project, right? So I just added an
Exactly.
extra V stitch on the bottom, so
And it may block out.
it'll start
Yeah,
laying itself down.
yeah. If you block it out, it should be fine.
Oh yeah, I'll block it out. All right. Thanks, Christy. So this will still be my project anyway, but let's get in there.
It takes time.
Yep.
Nope. But we'll see it. Like
Mhm.
I'm almost done this. I'm almost done with this yarn, but We'll see how we'll so far. I might have to add another one to it. We'll see. But
Yeah,
other than that,
yeah. See, Yarnbark did go to YouTube for help. Her problem was that she couldn't lay it flat on the floor to work on it, so she managed to put it together in the bed. She
Yeah,
really,
that
she
does.
really likes it, and she may have to get another one. And I just looked, Chris. I didn't have an email yet, but I will look when we're done here again for
all right.
email.
So I hope everybody had a great time and got something I got something accomplished. So we'll see. All right.
I actually got quite a bit accomplished tonight.
I just
And
got to
I mean,
talk.
well, I did a lot while me and Joe was hanging today. Connie, what do you do during the day? I mean, are you open for video chat sometimes or available?
Um, it kind of depends on what's going on because I literally, as soon as I get up, after I eat, I go to the gym. And then when I get back, I'm usually working in the garage or working in my craft room or doing like my plants. I had to do a whole overhaul yesterday. I was working with them for 2 hours. Um, in the afternoon, like when my husband's sleeping, I'm open for it for sure because he takes a nap every day. But I have to run people. It's just the
Sometimes.
days are never the
Well, we'll
same.
do it like this. If we call you and you're not available, just ignore it.
Okay,
we won't be offended.
that's fine. Yeah, so if I don't answer, I'm just busy doing something else. I don't usually sit down very much unless I'm sitting down to crochet. I'm usually up doing something.
Well, I was ordered to sit down today
Oh,
because evidently I was up too much yesterday. So I needed to
well,
sit, put my feet up today.
yesterday I finally got to sit down for 2 hours during the day, and then I did in the evening. And
Oh,
then today I only sat down for about an hour until after dinner.
before I forget, I know, John, you was closing out, but give me 1 second.
Awesome.
Those will work,
Awesome.
right?
Those will work.
Okay.
Those will work.
I found those I couldn't find them in the art section, but over like where the house paints and stuff
And the
are, that's
wax.
where I found them. Yeah.
Those are wax brushes.
And yeah, but I don't have to use them for wax.
No, you don't. I don't use mine for wax.
I heard some horrible stories about wax.
What kind of wax?
Antiquing wax.
Mm,
Some
I
people
love.
don't. Some people don't like it.
I
Won't
know.
miss names.
I don't mind it. I do use it, but I know someone who loves it and uses it on everything
Robin.
all the time. Yeah.
I can see using a little bit of it,
I
and
use
I
a
have
big one.
I have used it a time or two, but I ended up throwing the brushes away because it was so far in between each time.
Do you want to know what I use like for my antique wax? I just use regular paintbrushes, and I wash them.
I
And
couldn't
then
get the wax to wash out.
I do. Well, okay, so this is something I do, and I learned this in art class. You get your hand wet. You put your soap in your palm of your hand. You take your brush and you put it down in it, and you go around in circles.
Yeah.
Have water running at the same time until it's all clear. I've never had an issue with antique wax coming out.
That's unusual. Hang on 1 second. I'll be right. Y'all do you. Okay. Damn it. Sorry, my niece messaged me, and this late at night I have to check because
Oh,
that's unusual. All right. Well, I have had fun this evening.
me too. I'm
Yeah, it
sorry,
was
Yarn Barf. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't do
Oh,
my
yeah.
art.
Sorry about that.
If I couldn't do my art, I don't know what I would do.
You'd
I think I would
adapt.
have to do. I think I would probably do it with my mouth, holding the paintbrush if I couldn't use my hands or my feet,
Yeah, I
my
would say
toes.
I would use my feet, but my hips don't work good enough. I still wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, but I could hold the paintbrush in my mouth. I I know of a woman who's did that. A couple of different people. So,
That would be doable.
huh?
I just actually watch a local lady, who did that. She lost her arms from the elbow down in a car
Mhm.
wreck when she was a teenager. The bone shattered, so she lost both of them. And this was back when I was a kid, so they didn't have a lot of prosthetics, like what they have today. And she painted
Mhm.
with her mouth. It's beautiful paintings.
If you ever want to look up, her name is Joni Erickson Tata. She has no arms, and she's the most beautiful artist.
Now I had a client, and she had a stroke, and she loved embroidery. And after she had her stroke, she was really depressed. And I was brainstorming with my sister. I said, there has to be some kind of something we can work out for her. So we took a hoop, and my husband put a stick on it, like a flat piece of board, and then another flat piece that would go under the couch cushion or under
Mhm.
her thigh to hold the hoop for her. And that woman could put the yarn in one side of her mouth, her needle in the other, and she could thread her needle with her tongue.
Yep, you can adapt.
And she would thread her needles. And if I had time, I would just sit down and thread her up. Ask her what colors do you want, and I'd just thread her up a bunch of needles to use in the evening. But we've very gradually taught her, and she would like push up with her one good hand, and she'd just pull it through with her mouth, and then
Mhm.
grab it with her hand, and it wasn't as good as what she did before the stroke, but it was still really beautiful work.
Right.
Yeah.
It just made her so happy. Got at least that much
Yeah.
back. As
You're
important.
embarrassed. You're embarrassed that she can't do calligraphy anymore, but she at least can still crochet, and she does amazing work with her crochet.
Yeah,
Mhm. Definitely.
She's on my Facebook, and she posts, and
Mhm.
she showed me pictures and stuff. We talk on the phone.
That's cool.
yeah, she goes.
It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am going to have to dive out of here.
Me too.
All right.
These,
I hope you
I'm
guys all
keeping
had
you
fun, and
up.
we'll see you later sometime.
Bye,
You're
guys.
welcome.
Take care.
Bye,
You're welcome.
guys. Night.
Good night.
Night, everyone.